Yesterday was one of the most special days in my entire life. It was definitely just really surreal. I never thought I would ever meet the Ultimate Warrior, and as you guys saw in the footage, that was for my fourth birthday. I was a wrestling fan, and more specifically a Warrior fan, a year before that when I started watching wrestling, and he was the first guy I was able to call my favorite wrestler. He's the guy who turned me on to wrestling. I saw him on TV and I was just like, his appearance is cool, his whole attitude is cool, he beats down the bad guys, he just gets in there and starts beating people up. This guy is awesome, this guy is cool. Therefore, I got to start watching this whole thing. And I started renting the tapes. I still remember there was a place, it was a liquor store it was a liquor store and then a slash rental store. The other half was a video rental store. They'd have the clamshells there with a little sticker with a number on the corner. I grabbed all the like four or five of them at once, take them to the front with my dad, and then they'll look at the number, they'll go to the back, come back with movies, go home, watch them, return them, go back with five more, and then etc. etc. And at one point, because I was like the best rental store in town, at one point I just started watching all the tapes more than once. I started doubling them, and then they opened up another one, and so far I started watching more, and then here we are now, 2011, October 30th, the big wrestling fan that I am. All that because of Ultimate Warrior. So yesterday was just really surreal. But anyways, let me tell you what about yesterday. The signing took place or began at 7 o'clock at Soundcheck Hollywood. It's a record store on Sunset Boulevard on West Hollywood, California. I got there at about 7:40ish, 7:30. There's about 100, 150 people in line. There could have been other people that already gone there and left because the signing had started 40 minutes prior to that. But the Undertaker 07478, cheap plug, that's his YouTube channel. He let me cut him in line with him, and Luke Cage was with them, and that jumped me to like the top half of the line, which is really cool and really saved a lot of time. And basically, what you would do is you can buy. There's like a whole variety of packages, but the package I got, I get a T-shirt, one autograph, and one picture with him for $70, which to me is it's a good deal because not only is it really rare to for you to get a chance to meet Warrior, but the t-shirts themselves on like retail stores they'll go for 20-25 and plus shipping probably like $30. So technically I was paying $20 for the picture, $20 for the autograph. So that was definitely like pretty much to me it wouldn't have mattered anyways. I mean, because I definitely had to meet him. The autograph is like the experience and to meet him and to take a picture of him. That's what I really wanted most out of this. And my cousin went with me, and he's not even a wrestling fan anymore. I mean, he'll go with me to Raw tapings, but he won't watch it on TV. But he remembers who the guys are because we grew up watching wrestling together. And when I told him who we were going to meet, he was like, no way, the Ultimate Warrior. And then he's like, what do I got to do, buy a ticket? He's like already asking. I'm like, wow, I just thought you were just going to come with me for company. But yeah, you can get there. And like he bought a package where he gets a t-shirt and a picture with him for like $40, I think it was. And then he ended up getting autographed, but I'll get to that later. So I'm going to fast forward to when my cousin met him, because he told me really his experience. Luke Cage, I'm pretty sure he uploaded a video, Undertaker 07478. I'm pretty sure he uploaded a video, so you guys can go check out their videos. My cousin told me that when he went up there, he was just like, he was talking to him, and I can't remember exactly what they talked about, but he paid for pictures. They took a picture, and then he bought a shirt. And then he's like, "Do you have anything for me to sign?" And he's just like, "No, I'm sorry." And he's like, "Stick out that big chest." And then my cousin's like, "Okay." And he's like, he stuck it out and he signed it like on the upper corner. And then so they took a picture, and then like he set his bag down, I guess, my cousin, and he was walking back down the stairs because where you meet Warrior is like you go in the building and there's like a little room upstairs. So you go upstairs and he's literally waiting for you up there. And then so he went up there and he was coming back down. He's like, "Alex, don't forget your bag." And then I was like, "Oh my god!" I heard them say that. Like I literally, because I was downstairs waiting for for him to finish up so I can go up there. I was like, "Oh my god!" He came down. He's like, "Dude, that was fucking awesome." And I'm like, "Oh man!" And they're like, "Next," and I'm like, oh my God, here we go. And I'm just like walking up the stairs, like whatever. But then like before I knew it, when I'm turning the corner in the room, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I can't believe it. He's like, how you doing? And I'm like, oh my God. And I shake his hand and I'm like, do you have any idea what you did for me as a wrestling fan? You got me hooked on the damn thing. And he's like, oh really? You're a big fan? I'm like, yes. You know, I was like almost 3 years old when I first saw you. And he was like, oh, you've been a fan a long time, huh? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, are you still a fan now? I'm like, yeah, you know, the product's changed, but it's too hard for me not to be a wrestling fan. And we started talking a little bit more about that. I'm gonna cut some stuff out because this video would drag on way too long if I didn't. Um, and then what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh yeah, and then he was telling me how he really appreciates the fans that are coming out there, and he said that he could tell by how I was like, I'm sorry man if I'm like freaking you out or anything. And he's like, no you're fine, and I really can tell you're a big fan, and I really do appreciate you coming out here showing your support, especially after all these years. And I was like, oh definitely man, I stuck by you even throughout that stupid DVD that they put out and through all that stuff that I read out on the internet. And he's like, you know what? It was wrong for them to do what they did. And I was like, yes, it was, man. He was talking about the Self-Destruction Ultimate Warrior DVD. And he's like, I see you have two things. I see you have things for a couple of things for me to sign. I'm like, yes, sir. And he grabs my figure, and I chose the figure not based on rarity, not based on value. I just got the one that the nicest condition. This one, the package is it's pretty much mint, to be honest. So if it's gonna be a signature that he signed when I met him, I wanted it to be the nicest looking one. So I got this one. And he got it and he's like, what do you want me to what do you want me to put on it? He'll literally put anything you want on a signature. And I was just like, whatever you want. He's like, no. He looks up and he's like, no, you tell me what you want and I'll put it on here. And I'm like, just your name's fine, because I was originally gonna get this personalized, but when I got there, I heard that he was signing everything you put in front of him. So I bought a poster, which actually over here, I'll show it to you in a minute. So I was gonna get that personalized, and this I'll just get his autograph on it. And so he signs it, and then I'm like, and then I point to the poster, and I'm like, this, can you personalize for me? And he's like, sure. And he's like, how do you spell your name? I don't want to misspell it. And I spelled it, and he signed it. Miguel, always believe, my biggest fan, Ultimate Warrior. And yes, I did ask him to put my biggest fan, just because I wanted him to write that. That was the whole point for it. And he underlined it. He was just like, my biggest fan, and they put exclamation mark, exclamation mark. I thought that was just so cool. I'm just watching him write, and he's like, oh, and I was like, oh man, that's so cool. But this is the poster itself. Always believe. And yeah, I'm definitely getting that frame, so that's gonna look really nice going up on my wall. But and then I was gonna take a picture of the one that you guys saw, and then you can tell in the picture he has my hand. That's because I was shaking his hand. I thought we were just gonna like look like we were making a business deal, like that kind of thing. And he just kind of like pulls me. And he's like, "Come here," and I'm like, "Oh man!" Like he literally pulled me. He's like, "Come here!" Like don't in the tone where like don't be shy. Like come on. And then like he just pulls me right by, and I'm like, "Oh my God, this guy gonna break me in half right now." And we're just smiling, and then like it's so cool the way that they conducted this whole signing. The guy takes my picture and he's like, "Here, check this out and let me know if that picture's okay for you." And I'm like, "That's cool." So I look at the picture and he leans over and I'm like, "Yeah." And I looked at him like, "Yeah, that's great." And then like and I shake his hand again, and then I'm like, and I was like, "I gotta ask you before I leave. Like, when are you gonna go in the Hall of Fame?" Or I told him, "When are we gonna see you in the Hall of Fame? We really want you to go in there." And he's like, "Well, they gotta put out another, or they gotta put out another DVD because it was wrong for them to do what they did, and a couple of other things have to fall in place, but they really rubbed me the wrong way the past few years." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's stupid how they try to like blindside you with that one." And I did say blindside. Some of you will get that joke. And what else did I tell him? And that's all. Like, you know what? Even if you don't get put in the Hall of Fame, you're already a Hall of Famer in the fans' eyes. So that's all that matters. Like, so I'm always gonna be a Hall of Famer, and I'm like, damn straight in my head. But I told him, yes, sir, always. You don't need to be put in the Hall of Fame. And I told him, besides, they put just about. And I told him this. They put just about anybody in there nowadays, but we still want you in there just so you can get the recognition you deserve. And after that, I shook his hand. And he looked at me. He's like, thank you very much for coming out here. I really do appreciate it. And I'm like, I could tell he meant that, which meant a lot to me. I was like, no, thank you for your time. He's like, no, thank you for coming out here and showing your support. And I'm like, oh, you're welcome. I just grabbed and I was just walking. I was just like, oh my God. And I was just so overwhelmed by the whole experience. But best signing I've ever been to. Best signee behavior, everything. He signed everything you put in front of him. It's just, and the guys at the record store said they're going to try and get more wrestlers and maybe even him again. So if he's going over there, I'm going to go over there with bundles of cash and other things for him to sign. But yeah, that was my whole experience. Definitely a day I'll never forget. And yeah, thank you, Warrior, for being a cool guy. And when I finally got the chance to meet you, and for all of you watching this, thank you guys for watching.